Well, hello and welcome to Brunwood Farm. Well, as is always the case on any farm, I had a long list of jobs to do this morning and something more urgent has come up that I need to go and sort out. So this morning I had to nip out really early to get some animal feed. And as I turned out my drive, I saw my Jacob flock nibbling at some ivy on the hedgerow. And my first instinct was, isn't that lovely? They are going about foraging, doing their natural thing. And then I realised the ivy was on a tree that's fallen down and crushed the fencing. So I need to sort that immediately because it's a 60-mile-an-hour road. The fence is pushed down and it could be carnage. Now, as also is the, the way in farming, or just life in general, I have a chainsaw, yes. Does my chainsaw work? No, it's currently broken. So I'm going to go and have to tackle this tree with a handsaw. I have texted a friend with a chainsaw, but I don't want to wait because sheep are sheep. And if I wait, it'll be sod's law that they will get out. And I can't take that risk. Well, here's our fence line. Luckily, the tension isn't broken, so it's not snapped it. But here is the tree. Okay, that actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Fence not broken, back to normal. Done a bit of a workout. Whew. The Jacobs can't jump this, but Montague, who is my Norfolk Horn ram, is currently running with the Jacobs. He could clear that easy if he wanted to. So, you know, even here, he could clear this if he wanted to jump over. Now luckily, he has no reason to. However, if it was damaged, like that was, it wouldn't have taken much for him to hop over and be in the road, which we really don't want. So now I could crack on with some of the jobs I was supposed to be doing. It's fun when you let sheep free roam as well, because they don't stay in any one place for very long. So they're already over this side of the field. You can just see them in the distance there, having had their fill of ivy, which, you know, people say it's a poisonous plant and animals shouldn't eat it, but sheep and goats love it. And there's, you know, a natural remedy when I have ewes that lamb and are a bit stressed and don't want to eat, give them some ivy. It kind of stimulates their rumen and gets them going again. So yeah, I'm happy that that job is done. The sheep are happy, no escapes, and as I say, on to the next job. Come look at this duck. Honestly, December. It's December. What are you doing? She is sitting so diligently. I do not have the heart. So her nest was just on the ground. I put this cage around her. She hops in and out, and the hope with that is when they start to hatch, I'll put the top on the cage just so nothing can get them, because I've had it before where ducklings were just starting to hatch out, you know, naturally. Something came along and got them. And then it's December. It's going to be almost January by the time she hatches. I'm going to move her into the chick shed where they have a heat lamp. A, to keep warm, but B, protection from predators. Because we all know that chicks around here don't last very long because there's my blimmin' cat. So she is being very good. Aren't you, my love? I have to say she's off the nest quite a bit. So whether she actually hatches them is another another scenario altogether. But I'm preparing for if she does. Hello. No, you're not horrible chick duckling eating farm cat. You're lovely crazy feral that's now nice. You are chick eating, duckling eating farm cat. One-eyed Bengal. Yeah, you. I also have a small confession. Well, it's not confession, it's more of a realisation that the fox attack on the chicken tractor the other day, I don't think it was a fox. The following day he was sat on top of it. He's never gone out there. I think my Bengal helped himself to some chicken. I also suspect that my Bengal has been eating the odd Muscovy duckling. They're quite sizable now, but whenever I let them out to roam with the adults, one goes missing in the day. He's also, earlier this year, he ate my 2 remaining quail. So I'm in a bit of a quandary at the moment about what to do. And the thing is, he's a rescue. We rescued him with the one eye, and he was previously a house cat. He loves being a farm cat. So I don't really want to rehome him because he's already been rehomed once. But also, I can't have him just doing whatever he wants. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to end up building him a big old cattery. You know, I've got these big enclosures that the owls are in, something like this that he can live in most of the time, with, you know, with a little heated porchy area. Because as I say, I don't want to rehome him. He's already been rehomed once. He is a lovely cat. He is just a predator, and he's, you know, he's eating my animals. Look at him. He looks cute as a button. I've done nothing wrong. I'm just living my best life. Problem is, his best life is perhaps not the life that I want him to be living. So I think, you know, I think something like this. This is oh gosh, how big is it? 3, 6, 9, 12 foot long. 12 foot long. I think it's 9 foot wide, 12 foot tall. Ain't cheap though. I think this cost about £1,500. So for now, and I've thought of that because of those ducklings. It may not be him. It may have been a fox. I may be jumping to the wrong conclusion, but I have seen him catch rats, and he's pretty vicious. Sorry. So having the pigs indoors has reduced my stress levels a lot. If you don't know, Britain has endured vast amounts of unseasonable rain the past month, especially in Suffolk, where the slightest downpour now, because the ground is so saturated, it just floods. And so it meant the poor piggos were in swamps, basically up to their knees, and deeper in mud. Now Suffolk is also pigland, and you can drive around the back, the back streets and the countryside and see vast fields of pigs, and sometimes they are up to their chests in mud, and it doesn't seem to bother them that much. And I guess maybe I'm anthropomorphizing, whatever that word is, but I don't like to see it. I wouldn't want to be in mud that high, and they do seem happier in the barn. There is a balancing act though, because in the barn they can't forage, which means feed costs are higher. I have to feed them everything. In the barn it's concrete on the floor, which means their wee and their poo needs to be cleaned up every day. It also can soak into their bedding, so the bedding costs are higher, and they have a smaller space. But on the other end of the spectrum, they're not in mud, they're cosy, they're happy, and as soon as it dries up and firms up in spring, everybody can go straight back outside again. It also means more time to hang out with Richard, who loves a good scratch, or just using my leg as a scratching post. On the last video, I mentioned that I had a problem with hedgerow holes, sheep, and the garden. And one of you guys, Susie from Arizona, said, well, why don't you do some hedge laying? And I thought to myself, why haven't I done any hedge laying? So I've had a crack at it. So my main issue is, here is the garden, here is a hedgerow and pasture, and here are loads of holes where the sheep have been coming through. And I've never done hedge laying before. I understand the principles. You cut down to about 20% and then you lay it. Now a lot of this hedge it's huge, it's mature trees, so I don't want to necessarily lay, but at the bottom were all these runners. Hawthorn, blackthorn runners. And so what I have done, I've done exactly that. I've cut them through, I've bent them over, and actually I had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 holes along here, and it was filled with corrugated tin, which it's a solution, but it's not very pretty, and it's not ideal because the sheep also come and headbutt it down. And so actually, for this little bit, I'm quite happy with myself. It's taken what was a thicket of stuff here in front and looked kind of unsightly. It's flattened it down, but albeit there are still holes and they could still push through here. But in the spring, these will all start to grow. So this will all grow green up as well. So instead of having greenery up here and big holes at the bottom, I'll have greenery at the bottom as well. I don't know why I'm finding it so revolutionary, because now I've done it, it's blimmin' obvious that I should have done it. But I'm gonna rectify this, and so whenever I find a hole now around in the hedgerow around the fields, I'm gonna lay some branches over it. I'm not about to go and hedge lay my entire farm because I don't even know how many miles of hedgerow I have. But if I do it as and when I find holes and just lay over to do the holes, that's going to be, especially around the boundary, because obviously the plan eventually is to rewild and let the animals have the whole 37 acres. So the hedges within the property, it doesn't matter if they've got holes because they're going to be natural movements. But the boundary hedging, if I can lay that and just make as dense a thing as possible, brilliant. So thank you, Susie. As we discussed in the comments, it gives me something to do, it gets me outdoors, it warms me up on cold winter days, and it also serves a brilliant purpose. So an exciting ongoing project to do.